Put the fucking mic on.
Lurch, I just, this is a public service announcement.
Really?
For everybody.
Okay.
It's a little bit of things that piss me off.
Oh, it's been a while since we've had this.
And it is. It has been a while. Now, I'm actually not that pissed about it. And I'm not, I just want to preface this by, I'm not specifically just talking about the Law Abiding Biker store. I'm talking about all online stores, whether that be another store you shop in or Amazon or whatever. This public service announcement is to educate all the foolish people out there that don't understand what a product review is for.
Okay. All right.
Because I see it not only in our store now and then, I also see it when I read reviews in other stores. I don't think some people quite have educated themselves on what a product review is for. So let me set the stage.
Okay.
All right. A product review is a review for the fucking product.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I'm done. That's all I had to say. No. So here's an example. Let's just say you buy something. We'll just use the Law Abiding Biker store. And you get the email and you're like, yeah, I'm going to give it a review. Okay. The review is about the product.
Oh, okay.
It's not about all the other shit. Like, I got it and 5 years later it had a little blemish in it. And so then I contacted the manufacturing company and they were okay to deal with. And then they finally replaced it. Not helpful. It's superfluous. It has nothing to do with the product necessarily in 5 years. The other one is, I got it and it's a great product. I love it. But USPS lost my package and then I had to make 14 phone calls and then they finally delivered it, but they delivered it to my neighbor's address, but it's a great product. I absolutely love it. Okay. That has nothing to do with the fucking product. That's about you. That little review ought to go over to USPS, that you just go ahead and take that little part. And just what I'm saying is product reviews are for people to find out, is it a good product? Not about all the other, or I got it a day later than I thought. That has nothing to do with the company. That has nothing, that's a USPS issue. That's a UPS issue. People, when I read reviews or you leave a review, leave it about the product. I like this product. I installed it on my bike. It's superior finish and it solves XYZ problem. Okay. There we go. That's my public service announcement. Cause we get a lot, and those are just some basic examples. I guess the first one I used 5 years of blem, but I think it's been 5 years. And if the company replaced it, then it's probably not necessary to do a review. Just if they gladly bent over backwards and took care of you, maybe just enjoy your new product and leave it. It would be very helpful for the general population, for all of us, to not put shitty stuff in reviews that have nothing to do with the review of the actual product. There, I've said enough. Do you want to follow up on anything on that, or did I say it all?
That's pretty funny. Yeah, very accurate. Thank you for that public announcement.
There you go. It's going to be
helpful.
It's going to be a better world from here on out. Want to ride longer? Are you tired of a sore and achy ass? Fix it with a high quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. You keep forgetting you need to bring butt buffers out for each seat out here in the podcast studio. Damn it. Just pull them aside and get them mofos out here. So we want them on all our podcasting chairs. Ridiculous since we have a buttload of them in our store. We're going to do that. Let's do it again. Hey, Bikeaholics. 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of 03D products. Let's do this thing. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%
large, and in charge of the motorcycle scene. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
One question we have for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law-Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
All right, so in today's episode, I'm fresh off returning as of just a couple days ago from Florida. And I was down in Florida to review the brand new 2026 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. Did you hear it? Road Glide.
Are you getting ready to convert? Are you going to be a Road Glide guy finally?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would you even ask that question? Negative.
Because the listening audience wants to know. And our seasoned audience knows the answer.
Yeah, you will never see that
Okay.
Ever, unless they stop making the Batwing. And there's nothing wrong with the Road Glide Guide. It's a great bike.
It's just your preference.
It's just my preference. It's a look. A lot of it's a looks thing. Anywho, went down there to Harley flew me down there to review this bike. Obviously, if you're new to the podcast, as a longtime police motorcycle officer and instructor. And so certainly I felt qualified to review this bike, which is one of the reasons they had me down there and not other channels. They also had another channel down there and just two of us to review this bike down in the Palm Bay, Florida area. And we will get into, here's the deal. If you're a police motor officer or, somebody that's in charge of that at a police department, definitely this episode's for you. And it's definitely for everybody else that is generally interested in the Harley police bikes and what makes them different. This is definitely a step up. This one, I'll just throw that out there up front. It's different than we've ever seen in previous year. Harley did some amazing things, and we'll break all that down. And it definitely isn't just a bike necessarily with just lights slapped on it. There's some major changes that need to be talked about. I will say I did do a complete video. So, podcast is great because it's long form and we get to break things down. And I'll say that, talk a lot more in depth about it, my thoughts, my feelings that I don't get to do on YouTube necessarily. YouTube's a much more succinct, but certainly I encourage you after watching this, or if you want to reference things I'm talking about specifically, head over to the video. It's doing very well over on the Law Abiding Biker YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe while you're over there. It's free. It helps us out a lot. So please, if you haven't yet, if you watch our videos, just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't affect you in any way other than that it helps us a lot. Social proof and Google search and all that. So the video is out, and go check that out. Now, would we have an email or we want? Let's do this. We got we're just blowing it up in the store. You'll definitely want to hear these. These are two of our amazing, I think, most coolest new products that we've added, that we tested, reviewed. Videos are out on both of them. Here's what I'll tell you. Lurch is going to announce them. Either of these products he's talking about, the easiest way always to find out and watch a video on a product is to go over to the Law Abiding Biker store. FYI, guys. And it's fine. We have no problem answering emails. We love helping our community. But a lot of guys will send an email, hey, and say something like, and it's fine. Again, we're not, no way is this dogging anybody. We're there to help it. We just don't like you to be delayed. And so, an email might take 48 hours to get answered. And in the meantime, you could already had your product purchased and on the way. So just like any other online store, we'll get an email such as, hey, I'm looking for Kuryakin shift linkage. There's a search bar. On mobile, it's all the way at the bottom of the page. On desktop, it's up in the upper right-hand corner or upper left. I can't remember. Anyways, it's the top of the page. And you literally just type the name of your product. So in this case, it would be shift linkage or Kuryakin shift linkage. And you're going to come up instantly. The search is amazing on our store. That's how we find our own stuff. Yeah, the menus are great, but it takes a lot longer. If you just know the product, if you're just browsing, then menus are great. We have a very organized menu, but if you're just like, I already know I want, and I'm interested in the Kuryakin shift linkage, then just type Kuryakin shift linkage and you'll come up with it. To piggyback off that, you want to see the video? Go to the store, type in the product you want, find the product, scroll to the bottom of any listing. If there is an associated video that's already been done, a review, detailed install, it's going to be embedded right there for you for free. That is how our store rolls. We're here not just to sell you the product. We really want, of course, we're always doing videos, and so we can't do them fast enough, but they eventually all catch up. So if there is a video, I assure you, associated with the product, it will be, and a lot of times there's 3 videos embedded down there because we've done multiple videos to help you with a specific product. What are the newest? Both of these are affordable. Both of them are high quality. Both of them are made in the USA, and both of them solve a problem or an annoyance every Harley owner has. What are they, Lurch?
That's what I was going to say, is I love it when we find products like these that solve a problem and make life for bikers just a little bit easier. And both of these just came to us organically. I've heard of Stealthport. I've had a few people ask me in the store, hey, you guys, have you ever heard of Stealthport? Well, Al at Stealthport reached out to us via the socials, and we got hooked up together. And he sent us a few to review and see if it was something we wanted to get behind, because that's how we roll around here.
Lurch likes getting behind things.
Yeah, some things. We'd like to evaluate, test, and make sure it's something that we can, put our name on. And as soon as we got the product, the Stealthport charging port for your Harley-Davidson, we've got 3 different options for baggers, so meaning it locates in different areas. The original Stealthport goes on your rear fender strut, behind your saddlebag, and it's stealthy. You don't even see the thing. And then we got a couple other options that are mid-frame options. One for bikes without air deflectors, one for bikes with air deflectors. That one I know is your favorite because you can then use an SAE to barrel adjust adapter.
High-quality gerbing adapter.
Get your gerbing heated gear on.
Which we have in the store, guys. A lot of people are buying those with their Stealthports.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got a couple of soft tail options. There's one that hooks up near the tank, replaces the tank bolt, and then there's one down on the coil. So some different options there. What's nice about it is it gets rid of that floppy cord, hanging down. It's a nice, solid mounted, good-looking place to then plug your tender into, or your heated gear using that SAE to barrel connector.
Yep. We buy this nice bike, guys, and then all of a sudden you got a dangly,
dangly
SAE cord. A lot of times they melt on exhaust. We did that on the police bikes. They hit, depending on where they're just flopping out, they're getting corrosion, weather in them. They look like shit. It's such a clean option to have a hard, and so 10-minute install, guys.
Super easy.
On our video that we did at the bottom of the listing for Stealthports, all of the Stealthport listings have the video down there. We show you, and there's timestamps. If you go to the YouTube, you can go right from the store and then say watch on YouTube. Well, there's timestamps in the description for each install, for the top mount, the heat deflector mount, and the mid-frame mount. And each one will show you exactly what you need to do to install it. Comes with the hardware. They're literally using threaded bolts that are already in the frame, or at least another bolt in the frame. For all 3 of these, it comes with the hardware. It hard mounts and it plugs. It's plug and play because the Stealthport has a pigtail off of it. It just plugs into your existing floppy battery tender. And then you just tuck it away under the seat behind the side cover. And you've got this hard mounted thing that you can just find at all. It's got a rubber weather sealed cap on it. So when you're riding, you can put the rubber cap over it. And I like the mid-frame mount. I'll tell you that in the video when you watch it, because it's right up near my rear of the tank, in front of my leg, right at the front of the seat where the seat and tank come together. And I can reach down. I've got my barrel to SAE gerbing connector that I got from our store. And even a lot of times on trips, I forget to plug in my heated gear. I get in a hurry, get to a gas station. I'm like, shit, it's hard to try to find barrel plugs. And this, because it's hard mounted, I can literally grab that connector off my heated jacket SAE, and I can reach down. Because it's hard mounted, it makes it really easy to just plug right in there. And I'm rolling with heated gear. But anyways, watch the video because we really go over like things you should consider. Are you going to use it for heated gear? If you are, you may not want certain ones because it's going to be hard to get to. If you're just using it for battery tender, and then you might want it hidden away with the top mount stuck in between the fender strut and the saddlebag. So there's just, I encourage you to go watch the video. These things, we knew we were going to sell them. Holy shit. We are keeping up on stock, and Stealthport is able to keep up with production demands of us so far. I'm sure their machines are smoking. But these, and we knew it was going to be proper, but because it is affordable, it solves a problem. It cleans things up. and it's made in the USA, which we always love. Of course, we sell lots of products that aren't made in the USA, but anytime they are, we love that. Of course, we wished all products were made here, but that's not reasonable in this day and age right now. But yeah, great deal. So what's number 2 product?
Also made in the USA.
Yeah.
This is a product by Kraus. Kraus makes a lot of cool stuff, and we recently became a dealer for Kraus Moto.
Kraus, if you're not familiar.
We will be bringing on more of their products, but we wanted to start out with the Easy Shift. This is another one of those products that I'd heard about. Oscar in particular had asked me if I had used one or if we had any knowledge of them. He's got the older fairing style, so the pre 23.5 touring bike, and the neutral can be a little bit tricky on those inmates to get really any Harley, but those in particular. And so,
and more than that, it does more than that.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I'll take a look at it. And I started doing some research, and I thought that's a cool product. So I just went out and bought one with my own money, to be honest with you, and put it on my bike. And what it does is it changes the way that your shifter sits, your shifter linkage. Instead of being in the rear at a bit of a downward angle, this piece attaches to your rear shifter lever and elevates your shift linkage just a little bit and kind of flattens it out, if you will. And it's the craziest thing, but that little bit of change in the way that it functions makes it so much smoother, not just to shift. It feels like it's lighter and shifts easier, but also it makes neutral so much easier to find. It's called the Kraus Easy Shift.
Yep.
And it's available for M8s and twin cams. It's available in a black finished or a what they call machine finished. It's kind
black
of like
anodized or machine finished.
Yeah, which is kind of like aluminum, raw aluminum. But it's a simple little creation. The thing about it is it's made in the U.S., solid billet aluminum. It's machined, and it fits perfectly over that rear shifter lever. There are cheap pieces of crap available out on the internet. You can go on Amazon and get a cheap one. We ordered one just to see what it looked like. They're garbage. It just does not have the fit and finish. It's just and you can't even tell it might just be melted, like a cast aluminum.
It is. I wouldn't trust it.
I wouldn't trust it.
Long distance touring?
No, not at all. So we brought that Easy Shift on, but we also have some of their linkages too, shift linkages. So yeah, couple great products.
Yep. Yeah, be careful, guys. Please don't. You buy I can't believe, guys, still to this day, I get it. Everybody likes a deal, but you go buy an expensive, premium, luxury Harley-Davidson touring, and then you go out and try to cheap out on a fucking Amazon part that's one of the major components of your bike, which is the shifter. I get you.
There's some that you can cheap out on if you want to, if you choose to, but not a piece like this.
Not this.
Helps you shift.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're long distance touring and this thing breaks. The one is made in the USA. None of that stuff you're getting on Amazon is made in the USA. Guaranteed. It's from overseas. That's why you're getting it for stupidly cheap. We got one. We sent it. We just got it to check it out. And obviously I just sent it back, got my money back because I ain't going to keep some piece of shit like that. The finish was horrible. I wouldn't trust it. Fit finish. There was burrs on it, little metal burrs. It's unfortunate. I get it. The Kraus is a little more expensive because it's made in the USA and it's actually made out of billet aluminum, and it's got a warranty. You know, good luck. You don't even know who you're buying from Amazon. Some weird frickin' Koya TT shift arm plus Harley plus model date. You know, all this bullshit Amazon stuff. Just please, guys, Amazon has its place, but not for quality Harley-Davidson parts, guys. Okay, just beware of that. We did order one just to make sure we were correct, and we were all definitely correct on that. We're doing a whole episode on the Kraus.
We will. Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. And also, if you are listening to this episode and we haven't done that episode, well, then certainly the video is already available. Go to the Kraus, Kraus Easy. That's EZ, not the word easy, but E and then Z and shift. And you can head over and scroll to the bottom of any of those listings, and you'll see the video. Remember, one for twin cam and one for M8. Yes, they fit trikes because the trike has a twin cam if it's an older model. It has a Milwaukee 8 if it's a new model. They have the same shifter arm, same everything. And we need to add that to fitment. I don't know if we have, but we thought that covered it. But we had a lot of trike questions, so we will specifically put that in there. And I apologize because I do have a cold. So if I have to turn away from the mic, I'll try not to cough or clear my throat in your ears. But we'll get into the main topic real quick. We would like to thank the following people. These are some of our newest beloved patron members.
We'd like to thank Keith Lukes of Weed, California. Matt McKay.
Dude, I want to live in Weed, California.
It's not that great of a place.
Weed. No, we've been through it multiple times. Just saying the name alone. I just want to live in Weed, California.
Sorry, Keith, not mean to shit on where you live at. Matt McKay of Rosebud, Victoria, Australia. And Matt is a top tier member. And Nate O'Connell of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Keith, Matt pretty much just trashed your city, and it's on podcast. So Lurch did. We apologize. No, we've never actually stopped in Weed, only to get some weed, and then we moved on. But we appreciate all the new patron members for signing up. It's very easy to do. You basically just sign up for a monthly subscription. You choose the level of benefits that you want to receive. There are a plethora of benefits, such as t-shirts and stickers, access to the private Facebook group. It's a troll-free zone, nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. Access to live video broadcasts and chat, podcasts early, your year-round 10% off patron discount code on everything in the Law Abiding Biker store, access to premium videos up on request, and of course, access to all the ride meetup and events that are going on within that private Facebook group. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon is where you can go to learn more. And again, figure out what level you want to sign up and what benefits you want to receive. Thank you for all of those folks for getting signed up here. We appreciate it. That community continues to grow, and we just love it so very much. All right. We covered all that. You want to do an email? Yeah, let's do it's not a voice, it's an email,
it's
right?
An email,
yeah.
It's a short one, but it's fun.
Go ahead.
I had a good laugh when I got this one. So this came from our patron, Dwayne Brickle. And this is about a new dude wipe scent. Oh. I didn't know there's a new one out.
Well, you gotta get it.
It is bubblegum scented. And it says little dudes on it, so I think it's geared more towards kids, but it's still the same dude wipe size. It's still like 7-inch by 7-inch. But here's his message. Matt, I've heard you guys talk about these butt wipes before, and they're in different scents. Have you seen this one? They really do smell like bubble gum. Now I'm just waiting for my ass to blow out a bubble. Ride safe, brother.
Dude, we got to get some of those in testing.
That's what I told him. I said we need to get some of those for the store in the studio.
I can use it, and then you can chew my ass.
you're an asshole.
Okay. Let's dive into the main topic here. Now, again, this is a video, and I did an article. If you didn't know, a lot of you, I do the videos, but we also do detailed what we've done it forever over at just lawabidingbiker.com, not the store website. That's shop.lawabidingbiker.com or lawabidingbiker.com/store, but just the regular website. If you like to read, there's pictures and you can read, and then the video is embedded at the bottom of the articles. But if you just want a glance or a summary, definitely a good place to go. So that article's over there. I don't mention that a lot, but we have a very popular, highly trafficked website along with the YouTube channel, because we do most YouTube channels. In fact, all the ones in our space, I don't know if any of them others really have they don't do a website. They just put out a YouTube video. So we combine that. We try to help it any way we can, and a lot of people do still like to read, and so you can get the details over there. I still encourage you to scroll to the bottom and watch the video, because it's going to give you even more information. But if you just want a quick glance and summary, then that's a good place to go. So, all right. So let me tell you how this came about. This was a quick one because normally when I do events for Harley-Davidson throughout the years, there's ample notice, ample planning, and all kinds of stuff. And so I have time to plan out. Now, luckily, I'm more flexible as of July 31st, 2025, because I'm retired after 30 years from law enforcement. We're going to do an episode eventually on that. We just haven't. And I'll talk more about my career and stuff like that. But
might save that one for live, maybe for our
oh, there you go.
Do it live for the patrons.
That would be good.
Yeah.
So luckily I am more flexible. I'm not retired. I'm just retired from law enforcement. And I'm doing Law Abiding Biker full time now, in just one job instead. So with that said, I'm more flexible, which is the only way this happened. And so for whatever reason, Harley fell behind in this aspect, and I was still very honored. I'm not talking bad about them. These things happen, and they've been very flexible for me in the past. And so it was my turn to be flexible for them. And so a week before this, I get a text from one of my contacts, and he's like, from Harley, and he's like, "Hey, can you be in Florida next week? Can I bring you to Florida next week?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, we want you to review the new 26 police bike." So it was a little bit chaotic because my wife was planning on leaving town. We still have one of our daughters at home. And anyways, I got a hold of Lurch, and I'm like, so anyways, I got it worked out, and it was like 6 days later, I'm flying to Palm Bay, Florida. Flew into Orlando. Very cool. When I got there, I actually went a little bit early, and then I went stayed a little bit late because I don't have to rush anymore, and I don't have to ask for vacation and all that kind of stuff like I did with my law enforcement job. I am my boss now, and so I try not to rush these quite as much because they literally wanted to fly me in Wednesday and fly me out Thursday, and also review a bike. While I was like, oh shit. So I spent a little extra time on my dime to be down there. As I've said in the past, it is nice, and I'm very appreciative, and I'm very blessed that Harley and Indian take me places to review these bikes, but it still costs the company a lot of money because there's still all the meals I'm buying, and I had to stay an extra day, and the Ubers, a lot of stuff if you want to get around. It's just it's worth it in every way because I'm able to bring the valuable content to the audience. But so I am appreciative, but it's certainly, Harley has always been good. They've never told me what I can and can't say or anything like that. It's just, hey, we're going to get you down there. They do take you to dinner sometimes, depending on the event. They'll take you to dinners and things like that. They treat us well. But again, it's definitely, it still costs my company money, more than I make out of it. But we're so appreciative because I couldn't bring this content to you guys. I wouldn't get opportunities like this without Harley-Davidson and Indian and stuff doing this for me. So yeah, flew in, and Orlando, cool. Got hooked up with Eagle Rider. They got me a loaner bike. Harley did. And
I saw it was a man's bike too.
I did. I decided that basically because I was going down to review a Harley-Davidson Police Road Glide, that my rental bike would also be a Road Glide, so I could kind of get warmed up on it. I didn't know exactly what I had zero details really, except that we're going to review a police bike. So I didn't know if that meant, riding a ton of courses, or if it was just going to be out on the road, or how. I knew we were going to have a short amount of time with it. So anyways, I figured it's an hour from an hour and a half, depending on traffic, from Orlando down to Palm Bay. Yeah, it was nice to be in Florida. 80 degrees all the days I was there, about 65% humidity.
Nice.
We left Washington State here, Eastern Washington State, where it's freezing at night. And some of the days we're just in the 40s. We're in heated gear, heated vests, heated jacket seats, grips, and all that stuff. So God, it felt good. I'm not going to lie to you. And these little trips are great for me because they're a little reprieve to get me through the winters here. Cause I just do not I love the Northwest. But I do not like, the winter part of the Northwest for sure, especially where we live over here in Eastern Washington, snow and all that kind of stuff. So I did get to ride around and get warmed up on the Road Glide a little bit. I've ridden them a lot in the past, but I definitely wanted to get ready in case I had to do any type of performing, so to speak. Now, I will say, where do I want to start with this? I guess, so let me tell you this. Let's start with the evolution. I think that's a good place to start. You jump in anytime, Lurch. The long-standing, it's etched in Americans' minds. Number one, the Electra Glide, Batwing fairing. As a police motor officer, that's what I rode. I went through several different years of bikes and issuances over the years. The Batwing fairing by far, also the Road King.
Yeah.
I kind of left that out in my video. I shouldn't have, but I think the Batwing even more popular.
I would agree.
Than the Road King, especially around here. You didn't see too many Road Kings, but those have been around a long time. Those just all the way back to, presidential escorts in the 60s and 70s and whatever, it's fucking Harley Davidson. It's the Batwing or the Road King. And so there's just a lot of sentimental value there, a lot of just etched in police history. So one of the things that we'll discuss later in this episode is kind of my feelings on that, because they went to the Road Glide for the first time. And they've, for now, ditched the Batwing. That has pissed a lot of people off. I don't know if it's rightfully so. Again, I'll give my opinions and kind of put some things into perspective for motors officers and units and the public, I guess. But that's what we end up. And it's worth noting, kind of how we got to this point. And I had some insight too. So you guys all know, 5 years ago, and especially in the last 3 years, King of the Baggers race series has absolutely blown up. Within Harley-Davidson and Indian too. And we need both teams. We need both companies because you don't have a King of the Harley without that. 2 factory teams, right? It's blowing up. We've seen all the research and development Harley-Davidson's been able to do on the track. We've seen that trickling down into bikes. We see the STs, right? Inverted forks, radial mounted brake, all this stuff. Performance bagger era, right? Well, yes, they have the shark nose fairing. And so that's become popular amongst people because they've seen that, even if they were never into them before. It's put them kind of at the forefront. And a lot of the testing and R&D they did have been with a shark nose fairing. They just, doesn't mean the Batwing can't do it. It's just they haven't tested that. And so they already had this platform, the shark nose, and they've done R&D on it. And so I will tell you that Harley-Davidson they're the only company that makes police motorcycles that has a police advisory board with real motors officers and fleet managers and things like that. And they really did. Hardy really did. This has been in development for 3 years, and I'll tell you why and how I know that. At least a couple years. But they talked to people, and they talked to these advisory boards, and they really were wanting to make a turnkey police bike, and they wanted to do it right, and they wanted to know what officers thought, and engineers talked directly to some of the Harley. There's Harley representatives throughout the North America. They have regions, and if you're a police agency and you're interested in bikes, then you talk to your representative, and there's different programs. There's lease programs and buy programs and all that kind of stuff. And they kind of help you out. But they talk directly with those reps who brought, feedback from the field. And so they decided within those groups to land on and really dedicate their focus to a shark nose Road Glide version of the police bike. And I think they were just focusing on that because it's easier to focus on one thing than multiple things to at least get it in production and out the door. That's my understanding. So I knew all the way back in May of 2023, I got my first glimpse of a Road Glide police bike. So
at that time, do you recall if we were thinking it was going to be the only one available or just an additional option?
Additional option.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we thought back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Good call. And so still a full-time police motor officer and instructor at that time, May of 2023. We're going to take it back just a little bit here, Lurch. There you go. So May of 2023, Yakima, Washington, the city, Yakima Police Department is where I worked as a motor officer. And
how's that feel to say, by the way?
It does say
worked,
it's nice.
As in past
worked.
tense.
It is. And most people knew, but to name my department that I worked with, because there's no repercussions now.
Yeah.
You have to be careful, guys, if you ever wondered why I didn't really, and I blurred out logos and stuff,
Technically, you're supposed to have permission.
Right. You're supposed to have permission to use the name and say, especially because I'm making money off. If you're making money and I was off my platform, then I didn't want to use them to represent in any way that they were associated with my business. I was just very careful. So anyways, I can say that now because I'm retired. I don't give a shit. I got my freedom of speech back.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It is lovely. But we were hosting the North American Motors Officer Association Conference and Competition, which is yearly, and agencies from all over come. Anyways, the booths are there. You got the BMW booth, you got the Harley booth. And my Harley rep, Ted, for that area, great guy, Ted White, and he rolled out just a mock-up. It was pretty much just a civilian Road Glide, black and white, or it was all black. And was like, yeah, I don't know. I think they're, I go, that's weird. They just were encouraging officers, saying they were generally thinking how it would do and blah, blah, blah. It was very vague. And so, of course, I jumped on it and warmed up for a couple minutes, and I took it through the entire competition course and had a ball and did just fine on it. Not as fast as my street glide because I hadn't had time to train on the Road Glide. I could be just as fast on it, but nonetheless didn't hit cones or anything like that. Just doing really well. I did a video on that and back in the day and back in 23. And so that's up on YouTube if you want to see that. And so some other officers rode it. I was the only one that rode it on the course. Most others just went out in the parking lot, did some bar locks, but I really wanted to see, like, is this thing capable? Does it turn? Just, all that. I knew it's the same frame, but still I just, wanted to see how is it looking over this fairing and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, it did well. And in hindsight, I just want to give Harley props. Well done. Because basically what they were doing, they knew what they were doing. They were already in development. I know that now, of a Harley Police Road Glide. And they were basically trying to get it in the minds and slowly introduce it, not saying much, trying to get officers used to seeing a shark nose fairing at conferences and stuff, and start to say, hey, see, it's so, instead of just 1 year, hey, you're done. Here's a Road Glide. They knew that people were going to be pissed. And,
do you mean cops don't like change?
Oh, God.
I mean, as a prior law enforcement officer, I felt like I was very open to change.
You're right, dude. I think, and I always say cops are the worst, but humans in general don't like change. We're picking on cops, but I've seen some other industries, firefighters, whatever. They don't like change. Yep. Humans in general don't like change. So no, they didn't. And so well done, Harley. They started dripping it, into the minds of police officers and agencies. Now, fast forward from May 2023 to September 2023, Lurch and I head down to the 120th anniversary of Harley, 120th anniversary of Milwaukee, where all of a sudden I get a call while I'm down there. Hey, Harley officially is over at I forget, was it the Product Development Center? I think PDC parking lot or something.
I'll verify.
It doesn't matter.
No, technically it doesn't, does it?
Harley officially announced the Police Road Glide was in development. The bike on display, they said it was final, kind of, but I knew it wasn't. And it was the old shark nose fairing, which I was like, okay, now people are going to be pissed that if you get rid of the shark nose or the bat wing and you give them the old fairing. I'm like, this isn't going to be good. And I voiced it to who I knew. But it was, it had the trunk rack on it, and it was really just a civilian version. Nothing had changed a lot. It was just a version like our Batwing fairing bikes.
Had the tractor seat that you're used to seeing.
There you go.
Yeah, the rear rack, some lights. Yeah.
Just like they come, basically. Mm-hmm. And I did a video on that. It's on the YouTube channel.
Looking at the article right now.
There you go. Lurch will put all the links to all the videos that I'm talking about. So if you want to go back in time a little bit and see what I was looking at, it's kind of an interesting trail you can go down. So now September 2023, they're like, okay, now it's officially in development. Okay, well, cool. So we wait and we wait and we hear rumors, and I get a little bit of inside information here and there. And I'm like, okay, I really feel like they're doing the new fairing. I think this is bigger than what we thought. So here we are, November 2025. That's when I headed down to Florida. And we first finally have the civilian, the 2026 Harley-Davidson Police Road Glide, the FLTRXP. First, I want to say, so in 2026, there is no Road King and no Electra Glide, which is the Batwing fairing version that we've mentioned. However, Harley did not, and the reps down there did not say that the Batwing's gone forever.
And you're speaking specifically of the police.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't, specifically of police. They didn't say it's coming back, and they didn't say it's gone. They just said, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do.
Okay.
I think they're going to see how well, and like I said up front, I think they were so narrowly focused on getting a production police bike, and you'll understand why in a second, guys, because what they did to this, I think they just didn't want to focus on two bikes and all the R&D and on the track and all the stuff, and they already had the platform, And I just think they just were like, let's just stay focused to get this new type police bike out the door. And I'll talk about the end, remind me of my thoughts on what Harley-Davidson should do and what I hope they do and whether I think this is bad and how pissed people are going to be. But anyways, we will get to that. So with that said, I think we should move into kind of what majorly we're going to get into the specs of this thing and kind of how the past was and what's changed. So I will submit this to you here. So I got issued multiple different new police Electroglides during my tenure as a motor officer. It was very convoluted. The ordering process was a bit convoluted. I remember looking at spreadsheets and Excel docs because there were so many different variations, and depending on what equipment you wanted to include in your package, you had to get, and sometimes stuff was back ordered. And once you got that whole process done, the bike was shipped to your dealership, whatever dealership you chose, which was our local dealership. The second bike I got was over in the west side of Washington State. But then you get it, and it's all the parts you ordered are in boxes.
No.
And so I have video in the video that I did of one of my 18 police bike here at our local dealership on the lift getting put together. So now you've got more delays, and hopefully all the equipment's not on back order. If it was, so bikes sat sometimes for months at dealerships waiting on parts being put together based on what you ordered in your configuration. And then on top of it, once you got your bike, it was a little antiquated, and Lurch found this out because the old lighting systems that they were using that had to be put on, like, were not modern. And we took my my new 23 Electroglide police bike, and to reprogram the lights, we had to find
the ground wires for all the lights and run them to ground, and they would change.
We basically had to
tap it,
do a ground wire and tap the ground wire on ground to get them to change. And then there was multiple places we had to do that, whether it was front.
Yes. Yeah, it was like we had to find 4 or 5 different little ground wires that they had in that system, and then clip a ground to it, and then tap it to ground.
And I was making notes because you were
1,
you were
2,
tapping.
3, 4.
Okay, the third ones we like. That's a multi. And I was making notes on what the patterns did and what we liked, so we could get the next police, because we did multiple bikes.
Yes.
So we could get the same patterns. It was how ridiculous in 2025. We were laughing.
When you told me that's how it operated, I go, that's insane.
You got to be kidding me.
Does that work that way? And why is it going to change patterns when you ground it?
And the cars don't do that.
No.
The cars, you just program with the computer. Like, it's insane. So we learned that. So that was antiquated. And they were using, I forget, Wheelan, I think, at that time.
I bet.
And it just wasn't upgraded. And Wheelan apparently didn't feel like they had to upgrade it or anything like that. Anyways, so I will move in and tell you why everything just changed with the way they're doing it now. So now when you get a bike, it is ready to go. They've actually make it at York, Pennsylvania factory. They make it a police bike. And what I mean by that is everything is ready. The lights are already on it, and they've integrated it. I'll actually get your opinion on it because I've had a lot of YouTube comments. Everybody has a different aesthetic opinion, but what I'm getting at, the trunk has lights, the front shark nose fairing. Go watch the video or the article. I have pictures, but it's all integrated. Doesn't need to be put on at the dealership. It already, the trunks weren't even on, and there was different trunks in the past. And so now we'll get into it. It's a chop tour pack, but it's got lights, and in the left and right control clusters, it looks exactly like a civilian, except the big D-pad is red. Mm-hmm. And within there, they've built in their big red pads that controls your lights and your siren along with the IFCU. We're going to break it down more so you really understand. But at the end of the day, they've got 4 power ports in the trunk. No more splicing. You should have seen the mess those trunks used to be when we get them. and then you had to try to find power, and there was splicing. It was a fucking mess. 4 USB, or not USB, but what should I say, CAN bus type plugs that are direct power. I don't even know if they're CAN bus, but they are CAN bus, but they're ports, 4 power sources. Nothing. This bike, and so like the representative that showed us the bike down there is Rob Grimsley. He's the Southeast representative for Hardy Police Fleet stuff, and he was a retired motors officer too. He walked us around the bike, but he's like, a statement he made I want to repeat is, you can basically, comes out of the factory like this, no more delays, no more back ordered parts. When you order this, it gets delivered to your dealership. You ride it out that afternoon after you do the paperwork, and it's ready.
Basic setup like any new bike.
Siren, lights, everything. All they have to do is plug the bike in. You'll love this. Plug it into Digital Technician 2, and they basically program the lights, and it's all check boxes. And so basically they can check, what patterns you want, what colors you want. There's also a bunch of things, which I'll get into briefly here because it's a good time. They also, it has load shift now. So if your bike, a lot of times we would do a traffic stop and it would take longer than usual, or a parade or traffic control, and we'd kickstand our bike and kill the motor. And then your battery would go dead and you can't start your bike. Now it's got load shift. So the bike's smart, and it basically says, okay, I'm getting down to this amps or voltage. I don't know which it would be, but I'm getting low, and it starts systematically shutting things down, and it will stop everything before the battery goes dead and leave enough juice to get the bike started.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just smart little things. I think officers complained about that.
Yeah.
Right. And so also you can program it so when it goes on the kickstand, which it's at 8 degrees, and when it's on the kickstand, whenever the bike goes 8 degrees or more, it will change the light patterns. So you can like traffic control, you want them to slow down,
okay.
And then you can program it. So there's modes so that like when we're in an escort, a lot of times we turn off our rear lights because we don't want to blind we're hauling ass catching up, and we don't want to blind the guys behind us. So you can just turn off your back lights and just run your front. And there's modes to do that on the switches, but you can program it to do just a plethora of different options and
so
patterns.
You can have whatever pattern you're running in an escort, or to stop a car, and then when you kickstand it, it can
go all red.
It'll switch the pattern,
or it can switch the pattern, or just leave the rear on,
right?
Or however you want.
That's nice.
Yeah,
like a parked mode.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'd be like if I pulled somebody over in a patrol car and I put it in park, and it would switch.
Yep.
To a certain,
correct
traffic stop pattern.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So awesome technology. Code 3 is who the lights are made by now. And like I say, they're fully integrated. Also, you can have it so, a lot of times we chase somebody and then jump off our bike and kickstand it, and the siren would still be running because we didn't have time to turn off. Now you kickstand it, you can program it so the siren goes off when you kickstand. Just all those little things that make it really, really nice.
Yeah.
So so when an agency gets it, all they have to do then is, there's the 4 power ports in it, put their computer, if they're using a computer or laptop, printer, whatever setup they want to do there, and radar, whatever. 4 ports, 4 power. A lot of guys ask about the Chop Tour Pack. So let me start with saying this. The feedback that officers gave the most was they wanted more power and to get to speed quicker, which makes sense to most people, right? So when you're a police officer and a car's going by at 80 and you're starting at 0, we need to catch up quick. And that was, something that officers wanted more of, to catch up quicker. The quicker you can catch up, the less time you're going that fast. Because once you catch up, you can match speed and then you're golden. But to catch up to a car 80, you got to do 115. And so the least amount of time we can do that to get there is better and safer. They've looked through studies than doing it longer through more intersections and things. So,
especially on a bike.
Correctly, especially on a bike. So we need out of the hole power. We need top speed too, but that's not as important. And these bikes do have a higher top speed, and they also are out of the hole. We'll talk about specifications of the motor and what we're doing there, but that's where the other Chop Tour Pack comes in, because this bike can do 120 miles an hour, and they did wind tunnel testing. The bigger full trunks just didn't. It was harder to get to 120.
Sure. There's more drag.
The other reason they were able to go with the Chop Tour Pack is the older bikes, they've completely upgraded, and this includes the civilian models. It's an upgraded electrical system because of the IFCU. So the alternator and all that is putting out more power to keep the battery charged.
Sure.
So because of that, the older bikes, we used to have a second battery in the trunk to run everything because the bike system could not handle it. Well, they feel, and they've done testing, that now with the upgraded electrical system that they can just do that, that they can get away with just no battery, which means you can have a smaller trunk because the battery took up a shitload of area in the trunk, right? So there you go. So that's the Chop Tour Pack and why they went with that. And I think it's a good look overall. So let's go down. I've covered a lot of the patterns, the wig wag. Let's talk about engine and performance. And kind of what motor they went with here to get the power that we were actually talking about.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycle. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No cutting, modifying, I just read that wrong. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation that equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero A and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products with all new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to the Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
So they chose the 121 Milwaukee 8 VVT. Now, this is the motor that we saw come out in 2023 on the brand new 2023 and a half CVO models, in which I was very blessed. I was one of the very first people to get to test ride and review that 121 VVT down in Monterey, California. And that video is available too. Fun video. In my video, I show some scenes from those past videos that I've mentioned. And all I'm going to tell you, I fell in love with that motor. The variable valve timing is just absolutely amazing. It's a 121. Now, with the variable valve timing, basically what you're looking at on this 121 is it's 1,982 cc, 115 horsepower, 139 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPM. Did you hear that? 139 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPM. That's where that comes into play of that out of the hole power, because you want your power to kick in at lower RPMs because you're coming out of the hole. It's kind of like a boat when you're starting with a skier, right? We need to get up to speed as quickly as possible. We want that low end torque. Now this bike, for perspective, is doing 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds, 0 to 100 in 12.6 seconds, and top speed is 120 miles per hour. So in comparison, previous police models like my 23 required 19 seconds to hit 100 miles per hour.
That's a big improvement.
It is. Wow. It is. And so this does it in 12.6. So that's huge. So they delivered. The police officers asked, the boards, and they definitely delivered. And this is why a lot of people are like, why didn't they put, because you can't cam it and you can't, and all this stuff. Not that a lot of police agencies are really camming bikes, guys. Some do, but most of them are just leaving them stock. So they wanted to have a package that's the best motor that they have to offer for low end torque. And it's the 121 VVT. Now, so I get, it's such a smooth, just riding it again down there was so smooth. And it just reminded me of what a cool motor that is. For comparison, I don't have it in my article, but I remember the 117 non-VVT has 130 horsepower or foot-pounds of torque. I already know it. 130 foot-pounds of torque at 3,250 RPM. So you get quicker torque onset with the VVT. And it's just it's an all-around smooth motor, and it made sense why they put it in the police bike because it's their largest motor. I guess you can get other motors, but production that's coming out of the factory on bikes like that. So, so I think they nailed it there. It's the power is smooth. It's predictable. It's confidence inspiring. I'll say, And I'll say personally, this is the best police motor Harley has ever built in terms for acceleration for police model.
I know you're happy to be retired, but I know you loved being a police motors officer.
I want that bike.
You really do, don't you? I bet you wish you had an opportunity to ride one.
I already seriously last night got on for like 10 minutes because I'm going to buy a used police bike. I want to buy my old used police bike, one of them, but they won't have this motor. But still, I just want one because I just love it and I'll ride it and train on it. And I mean, I train on my personal bike, but it's fun having that back. At some point, and we'll be doing videos on it. We'll get one in here. I'm hoping it's my old 18.
It'd be nice if you could.
I don't need anything expensive, just my old 18.
Yeah.
You know, that would be fun. I'd like to get my 23. That'd be cool, but that's going to be a long time before they auction that. Right. So anyways, staying on track, cause we do have a hard stop here. Yeah. So I was very happy about this. I honestly wasn't sure. I was very pessimistic that Harley would do this. Cause in past police bikes, like my 23, it was the 23 Electric Glide, but you know, unlike the Street Glide and all that, they left the whole infotainment boombox, or in that time, the boombox out.
Right. Just a blank spot.
Blank spot. Some police agencies like us put a radio head unit in it.
Which leads me to a question. I'll ask it now since you brought that up. Where would the radio go on this new bike?
Well, you could put it in the trunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, traditionally, it's been either correct me if I'm wrong. Either the officers were using a portable type system, or they were putting the more of a mobile system into the head unit area.
I think most units were not doing. We're a little old school that way.
Most have moved to a
portable system where you could just have a repeater in your trunk. There's much smaller, so they'll just move to that. I wished we would have did that, but they didn't. And most agencies have way better radio systems than we had. Our portables don't even work, so that's why they did that. Portables were fucking horrible. Yeah. Anyways, so I was very happy. Like I said, they didn't stop on this bike. And so it does include the full IFCU, the infotainment control unit, digital dash integrated, just like we see on the civilian models, AM, FM radio, 2 fairing speakers. Our old bikes, they just deleted the speakers in behind the grills. Built-in GPS navigation comes with it. USB-C port in the right glove box, Bluetooth pairing, phone music, wireless Apple CarPlay. Of course, you require a Cardopac Dock Edge headset for that. Customizable gauges and themes, touchscreen or handlebar toggle controls. You can either use the touchscreen or the toggle controls, on-screen emergency lights and sirens. That's something nice. So the only way the IFCU differs on the police bike is they also integrated the ability when you have it in a certain mode, the touchscreen stopped working because they don't want you to mess up your lights and siren. And then specific beautiful controls come up to tell you, do you have your directional arrows on? Do you have just front lights? Do you have just rear lights? Is your side, all these different, and then you can do patterns to get people to move over, and so all built in. And then as soon as you go out of that mode, if you want to, then you can use the IFCU, but it locks up when you do that. So it's just doing police stuff. Nice. And it's really cool. They didn't want rain or something to actually turn your lights off while you're running code and you get in a crash. So they really thought this through. So I was so happy I really want one of these. I would have loved this on patrol to have a fully integrated IFCU. I was always running my phone, which is fine. I still would put a biker gripper up there, cell phone mount, have my phone, but you can take your calls on there. You can see everything. You can Apple CarPlay, maps for escorts, all that shit. Instead of looking at my phone, like some town I'm doing an escort in, I don't know the roads. I can look and see what's coming. You have that big screen now, Apple CarPlay. Anyways, beautifully done. Was really happy about that. We've covered a lot of this, load shed and the trunk and all that. This is really cool. It's got a rider now, tractor. They've always had the tractor seat. It's got that again. It puts you in a more aggressive, proper riding position for the way we ride the bikes. The nice thing is, in the past, officers are making all kinds of hacks with PVC pipes and some officers wanted to lift their seat up and rock it up in the back so they were closer to the tank, so they didn't have to choke up as much. Anyways, I saw 2x4s. I saw all kinds of just craziness. Anyways, they listened and they made a three position adjustable tractor seat. So it rocks up in the back and so an officer can kind of get dialed in. I do want to say the laden seat height is 31.3 inches. It's high when you sit on it. I'm barely flat footed and I'm 5'8". A civilian Road Glide is 26.6 inches. So and that's in the lowest position. So if I raise that seat at all, I probably wouldn't be able to be flat footed. That's something each officer is going to have to decide. But I would like to raise it up a little bit with the bars. They are standard bars, just like a civilian Road Glide. There is some rock back in front. They are rocked back a bit, which even I did bar lock turns on the video. You'll see, even with that, if I choke up a little bit, I was able to do full bar lock turns without it completely extending my elbows out, which was nice. So don't worry about that. 5'8", if you're any shorter than 5'8", you're not going to be flat footed, even at the lowest position. But police bikes have always been that way with that tractor seat. They're just higher, something you have to deal with. The controls, the grips, I talked about all that. You got the heated grips with the button on the end now, just like the bikes. It's coming with that. Of course, the clutch lever, the brake lever is adjustable. The clutch lever is not. Again, it's exactly like the Civilian. So I'm telling you, and I told guys down there, yep, get a hold of the Law Abiding Biker store, get yourself at minimum, an easy Fat Bagger's easy clutch adjuster, so you can get the friction zone and get where you want the clutch to engage off the grip. I would submit, put a Mueller in it. So I forgot how shitty the clutch pull is on stock. Oh my God.
Once you've gotten used to that Mueller, oh my goodness.
Dude, I got on that rental bike and the police bike. I was like, my hand at intersections, because traffic was so bad, I had to put it in neutral and undo the clutch because my hand was getting tired. I'm just like, fuck. Put a Mueller on it, reduce that clutch pull, put some PSR adjustable levers on it, especially if you're an aggressive rider. You guys, it's all in the Law Abiding Biker store. And if you're a motors unit listening to this, or just get a hold of us over at the Law Abiding Biker store. We have expertise. We've helped a lot of motor units. We can get you bulk orders. We can get you the right setup that's going to just make your clutch so much more adjustable, so much better, so much easier to pull, so you don't get all that ham fatigue and just better control of your bike overall. So suspension and braking, they went with traditional 49 millimeter bending valve front forks, just like you see on Civilian models. They went with axial mounted calipers. That was the one thing I was disappointed in. I really wanted inverted front forks, and I wanted radial mounted calipers, just like you see on the CVO Road Glide ST. These are performance bikes. You've got professionals riding them. Both of those systems are so much better for riding, control, and performance. On the other hand, I know that they have to keep these within a certain price range. And so my gut tells me that was made specifically because they didn't want to add another $3,000, $4,000 to these bikes. And police agencies, they have to be competitive with BMWs and all that kind of stuff. So my gut tells me that's why they did it. That my personal selfishness really wanted those things, but we didn't get it. But they did step up the game in the rear. Adjustable shower rear shocks. 3 inches of travel, rebound dampening. You can actually set preload in previous police bikes. They just came, there was no adjustment. They just put them to the heaviest thing.
That's crazy.
And they just knew you were going to have the heaviest load, and that's all they had. So they bottomed out a lot. It wasn't cool. So 3 inches of travel, rebound dampening, preload comes with a spanner wrench, just like we see. It's got an on-the-fly preload knob, left side, front of the saddlebag, so that if you are going to add an extra gear real quick or whatnot, you can take away just those fine adjustments with preload. And again, the rebound dampening knob at the bottom. It's just, I wish I'd had more time to play with it, but I didn't. Huge improvements for stability, comfort, and varying loads and equipment, of course. 4.6 inches of travel on the front forks. Again, just standard. And of course, it's coming with all the rider safety, electronics, and safety stuff. Your, drag slip torque control, cornering ABS, rider hill assist, all the shit that's on the bikes. It's all coming with the safety, traction control, ride modes, of course, rain sport mode, all that. They did chop the rear fender, or the front fender, the rear of it. We used to have a fender skirt on that, and they went down low. And when guys are training, if you mess up and hit cones, they would get stuck up there and bend the fuck. We've replaced so many skirts and fenders, dude. So good job. Again, just the little shit, right? Yeah. Just really listening to that. And so good job there. And we are doing good. And we will do this real quick like. Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured.
Nobody wants a leaky butt.
The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps to dampen vibrations.
But I love those vibrations.
With plenty of models to choose from, they'll assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. I know this is packed with information, trying to get it out there, but we do have a hard stop too. So, front fender, they chop. Handlebars are the same. The weight, interestingly, it's 904 pounds in running order. That's 66 pounds heavier than a Civilian standard Road Glide. Obvious reasons, because you have a bunch of police equipment. They have an integrated siren now. It's a big square box. Not the prettiest thing in my opinion, but it's a police bike and you're just going to have some
functional
stuff. Functional.
Yeah.
So I got to ride this on the road. I got to do some just short figure eights and stuff like that. Again, I didn't have a lot of time with this bike. It was a real quick trip, but I'm blessed and thank Harley-Davidson for the opportunity. After time in the saddle, I can confidently say the motors is outstanding. Handling is predictable. Low speed control, excellent. Tech integration is beautifully executed. The infotainment upgrade is long overdue. Rear suspension is significantly improved. Factory equipped emergency system is a game changer. I'd absolutely ride this daily as my full-time traffic enforcement bike. I really do believe Harley nailed this one, and it's going to save time. This platform showcases, where Harley is headed with performance, tech, and engineering. For motors officers, this bike will make your job easier. You're going to safer, if I will. And fleet managers, it's going to reduce cost, delays, and maintenance issues. I'm going to say the 26 Harley-Davidson Police Road Glide is the most advanced, well-thought-out motor unit bike Harley has ever created. I stand by that. It solves real-world problems. They listen, integrates modern tech, delivers massive performance improvements, and arrives fully equipped from the factory. No more waiting on dealers or installers. So Lurch, here's where I'm going to finish up, and then you throw in any follow-up questions you have or anything like that, or what you think of the light integration and just you looking at it, the pictures, the video you saw. But I'll say this. I know a lot of motors units are going to be mad about the batwing fairing. At first glance in my brain, I'm mad too. Just because I love the batwing fairing. It's traditional. I talked about the heritage, the police history. Just taking that away, I really feel like it should be an option. The 2026 Police Road Glide is fully capable and can do everything that the Street Glide can. Just know that. Or the Electric Glide. It's an awesome bike. You're going to love it. Have an open mind. If you want a Harley, which you do because they're awesome, this is what you're going to have. Don't, some guys, it's not, if you can't ride it, I literally, on the video you see, we did 0 warm up. I literally jumped up the bike, started on it. We had very little time with it. I needed to get video of Barlock turn. I went right into Barlock turns. You just haven't trained enough if you aren't comfortable just, jumping on it. Just spend a little bit of time with it on the course and you'll love it. You'll get used to it. It does everything the Street Glide can, or the Electric Glide. So have an open mind. Don't be that police officer that we all know that we all were. That's just fucking, God damn, I'm doing it, mother.
I'm not doing it.
Just keep this for as long as I can. Or just freaking chill. Harley made a really good bike. They really listened, and I think you would love it. I think once you spend a couple weeks on it, you'd be like, oh. And in 2 years, you're going to be going, remember when we used to have the Electric Glide?
Mm-hmm.
But I do, with that said, just my thought, I hope Harley-Davidson adds the Electric Glide back in as an option. Me personally, I would ride this Road Glide every day and I would love it and I would never complain. Personally though, I like the feeling of the front end of the Electric Glide. It's because what I spent most time probably. I just feel like it maneuvers for me a little bit better. It's more predictable for me. Again, this is for me. It does not mean I can't ride the Road Glide just as fast on a course. I love the bike. It's awesome. I like the controls up closer to me. I like the fit of the bars a little bit better. I like that the infotainment system is right up next to me. I will say with the Road Glide, even the civilian version, like when I was going my rental bike, I was going down the road and I went to hit the touch screen like a map or something. I literally have to arc my whole body forward, slide my hand and finger through the bars and lean as far forward as I can to touch the touch screen. I don't like that for a 5'8" rider. So that's why I just would hope that Harley realizes we've got it. People love it. Make the police package, make an Electric Glide. That's all I have to say. What do you got, Lurch?
I agree with you that they should have both options. As a taller rider, I do like that on the Road Glide, that stuff's a little farther away from you. I don't feel so cramped on a Road Glide. And truthfully, we all know it's the same bike. It's just the fairing's different. So it would be nice if you had both options. With that said, if they decide to move just to the Road Glide, have an open mind. It's a great bike. It's better than anything that's been out in the past. Be open to change. And like you said, if this is the direction it goes, there will be a time when this is what people remember police bikes looking like. I like a Road Glide. It's badass. I think I'd love to be able to ride one.
Yep. There you go, guys. Definitely just have an open mind. You'll love it. It's amazing. And 2 weeks, you won't even be thinking about it anymore. You'll be out on patrol just loving it with what they've done with this bike. just cannot be denied. So well done, Harley. And again, I really thank Harley for the opportunity to get down there and being one of two. The other guy down there with me was Rob Simmons, Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. Just us two down there. We had a good time. We become friends over the years, and you'll see it when he does his video. I totally screwed him on purpose. He was in front of his trailer. He had the bike, and it was sunset, and he was doing his final talking head video of what he thought about the bike, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the camera's back, and there's a big space in between him and the bike and his trailer. And so I get on my rental bike, and I see he's talking to the camera, and he's running his hands and stuff. I start the bike, I run around, and I go right in front of him and the camera, and I stop, and I go, "Oh, did I just do that? Or were you doing a video?" And then I take off. He goes, "Goddamn law-abiding biker." And he said he was laughing afterwards. I go, "Dude," I go, "that was a risk. I didn't know if you got a good sense of humor. I didn't know if you were going to get pissed at me or if you're going to think that's funny." We become good enough friends that we can play jokes. He's going to leave that in his video, I guess, of me cutting his video. And then I go afterwards. I go, "Dude, I was vlogging, and I'm like, dude, I didn't know actually that you were filming." And he believed me. He goes, "I thought you were doing it on purpose." I go, "No, dude, I totally realized." And later I told him, I'm just lying to you, dude. I totally set that up to F you, dude. Anyways.
On the way out, let's thank some of our folks that made some donations.
Please do.
Yeah, we got Tom Moore of Forestville, Missouri, Robert Brenneman of Miffleton, Pennsylvania, and Charles Mittman of Haines, Alaska. Thank you, gentlemen.
So much. Lawabidingbiker.com/donate helps put a little fuel in the Law-Abiding Biker S tank.
So we keep this thing running on down the road.
There you go, guys. I know that was a lot of information to throw at you. I think I covered everything, but we did have a hard stop, and we still got to do another episode. If you have any questions, go watch the video. And if you're a police unit and you want to get those clutches set up and you want that bike to feel like a hydraulic clutch and just all the adjustment in the world like butter, hit us up. Fatbagger's Easy Clutch Adjuster. You're going to be looking at the Mueller Power Clutch 2.0 and the PSR Anthem Pro levers. Again, hit us up on the contact form. Urlacher, I can help you, Oscar. And we can do bulk orders for motors units to get all your bikes switched over. But we have videos, install videos if you want to do it, or if you have your fleet people do it. Very detailed. Anyways, we can definitely help you with that out. Get a biker gripper on there. Strongest, sexiest, sleekest motorcycle cell phone mount in the world. Sell the hell out of those things. They're on all our police fleet. We've sold them in many, many units around the world. Any case you want, no proprietary cases. Easy. It's so quick in and out at traffic stops or an accident. You want to grab your phone real quick. It pops in and out. Sells itself. We can get you hooked up with those too. But there's a bunch of... We're actually going to do a video on all the modifications I do to that bike if it was my daily police bike. And there's a lot more I'd do to it than that, just to really, really personalize it. It's great out of the factory, but there's always things you can do to make it more personalized. Thanks for listening, guys. We love y'all.